Welcome back to the channel. My name is Miguel. You know, there's a moment every watch enthusiast knows, that instant when you open a box, catch it down in the right light and think, wait, this can't cost that price. The Baltani S4105 is exactly that kind of watch, and after reviewing plenty of Baltani models on this channel, this one may just be the most impressive in terms of dial execution alone. It's a kind of watch that punches well above its weight, blending familiar design cues with surprising premium finishing, all while maintaining the charm that has made Baltani such a cult favorite among value-driven collectors. Today we're taking a closer look at the S4105, specifically the Volcano Gray variant, but this watch also comes in Jungle Green, Safari Blue, Temptation Red, and even a two-tone version if you want a bit more flair. No matter what color you go for, the experience begins with the dial, because this is where Baltani clearly poured the budget, the energy, and probably a lot of late-night prototyping. The dial is 3D stamped and Baltani calls it smoke, but that word undersells what's actually going on here. In certain lighting, the Volcano Gray shifts from a near black charcoal at the edges to a warm metallic gray towards the center, giving the dial depth and dimension that you simply don't expect at this price point. There's a softness to the gradient, but it's also very crisp. That texture almost gives off this Grand Seiko essence. Obviously not to the Grand Seiko finishing level, but the intent is there. The applied brush hour markers, available in silver or gold depending on the version, add further refinement. They're crisp, clean, and are filled with Swiss Superluminova BGW9, and while this lume is in Seiko grade, it's absolutely good enough to be functional and visible in low light situations, and hangs around longer than you expect. If the dial feels Grand Seiko inspired, the case and bracelet clearly nods to Rolex, and honestly, it works. This Baltani model features a 316L polished stainless steel case with a fixed polished steel bezel, or gold if you're going for the two-tone version. The diameter comes in at 39mm, and including the crown, you're looking at around 41.8mm. The thickness is a very wearable 12.5mm, and the lug-to-lug is a compact 47.5mm. These numbers matter, and they come together in a way that makes this watch incredibly wearable. On my 6 7/8 inch wrist, it fits like a perfect everyday sports watch should. No overhang, no awkward bulk, no top-heavy feel. This watch sits confidently but not aggressively on the wrist, and that balance between presence and wearability is something a lot of watches in this category struggle with. The screw-in crown features a crisp B logo and thread securely, giving the watch a real sense of durability. And that brings us to one of the most surprising specs of this watch: 200 meters of water resistance. Yes, for a watch with an elegant, almost dress sports design, 200 meters is unusual. Most watches competing in this price tier, $259 to be exact, barely hit 50 meters. The more robust ones may offer 100 meters. Baltani giving this watch 200 meters is borderline crazy, and a massive part of what makes this piece such a strong value proposition. This is a watch that can go from the office to the beach without skipping a beat. Covering the dial is a sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating, because of course, why wouldn't Baltani put sapphire? It stays clear, resists scratches, and helps those dial colors pop in direct sunlight. Inside the watch beats the Seiko caliber NH38 automatic movement, a no date, no nonsense workhorse. It's reliable, easy to service, and known for just quietly doing its job. No date window also means clear symmetry across the dial, something enthusiasts love. Flipping the watch over reveals a screw-in stainless steel case back. Nothing flashy, but reassuringly solid and completely on brand for a tool-leaning sports watch. At 146 grams with the incised bracelet, the watch has substantial weight without feeling heavy or fatiguing. It feels like a real piece of steel, confidence-inspired but not overdone. The watch comes on a 3-link brushed stainless steel bracelet with solid links and end links, and yes, it uses screws to size it, and a signed Baltani clasp. The bracelet itself is comfortable, balanced, and fits the overall design language of the watch nicely. But if there's one thing I refine, is the clasp. It works, it's secure, it's functional, but it's not quite as refined as the rest of the watch. The tolerances, the finishing, and the internal mechanism feel a step down below the dial and case execution. Not bad, just one area where the price point makes itself known. That said, this watch looks fantastic on a bracelet, and I can only imagine how it would wear on a nice leather strap or fitted rubber option. The 20mm lug width makes it extremely versatile for strap collectors. Look, this watch is a perfect example of why this brand has built such a following. They understand proportions, they understand what enthusiasts want, and more importantly, they understand how to execute a compelling design without the price ballooning out of control. The dial alone feels like it belongs in a completely different price category. The 200 meters of water resistance is a spec you brag to your watch buddies about. The NH38 movement is reliable and tidy, and the overall aesthetic cues Rolex case influence meets Grand Seiko inspired dial texture create a hybrid personality that's far more interesting than it sounds on paper. On my 6 and 7/8 inch wrist, it feels like a true daily wear. Comfortable, compact, handsome, and just a little bit special. That's a rare combination, especially at this price. If you've ever been thinking about trying a Baltani or adding another one to your collection, the S4105 is easily one of the best watches the brand has ever made. Great specs, great presence, and a dial that absolutely steals the show. Let me know what you think about this watch in the comment section. Until next time, be safe out there and stay humble.